Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's real good to be back here at the Hotel Sprinkle here in Rural Retreat, Virginia. This is your host, Dr. Gratu Orloff, coming at you from the Tomb of Terror. Well, today we're going to be looking at some cowboy comic books from about 60, 70 years ago and doing some picking and grinning. And with no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's head on upstairs. Okay, so it's possibly April. Yes, it's April 24th, 2023. It's Monday, 9:14 a.m. So all right, so making copies of the Tomb of Terror video program. This one is episode 4. So I've been running copies of that all night, so I can get some of those out in the mail today. So today, this broadcast is, I think, episode 722, but I'm going to try uploading this one on Rumble as well as YouTube, and so it'll be the first episode on Rumble, and let's just experiment. Rumble seems to be a pretty good platform, less Marxist censorship, so thought I'd try that out. And I guess you can live stream on there too. See how that works out. So spring started here in Rural Retreat, and then it got a little cold again. Now I guess it'll maybe blow over in a day or two and be back to wonderful spring weather. Got this, oh, you can't see me. That looks pretty straight. I haven't turned the lights on behind me. Oh my gosh. Only got about 2 hours of sleep last night. I was on the phone to President Trump in Mar-a-Lago, and I'm one of Trump's advisors, and he was asking for my help in writing his speech he's going to deliver Thursday, and I said, I think you've got this, you don't need my help. But we were talking till like 3 in the morning, then I had to get up at 5, so this blanket here, I just got this from a rummage sale at a museum, and I'm going to hang it up on this window over here because sun is coming through that window, and sun is my arch enemy here because I'm part vampire. I'm going to kind of use it as a curtain. I got it for like I don't even think I paid $1 for it. It's, hold on, let me back you guys up. I'll show you what it is. I think when you were on a train, probably I imagine this is 100 years old. When you were on a train and you were cold, here you go, you would probably ask for a blanket, right? So, look at that. So I'm going to hang this up. I got it. Boy, you can really see how fat I am. My goodness. I'll show you where to hang it. Drew, now of course Drew the dog thinks it's a dog toy. Drew, how dare you? How dare you? Ha ha ha. Drew, don't mess up the blanket. See, I've got these posters over here. I don't want the sun getting through. I say that. So I'm going to hang this up there. Since I don't have curtains yet for these windows. So That is my goal. Wow, I said a water bottle there? What kind of lunacy is that? I said a. What? That does not seem like me to leave a water bottle on top of magazine boxes. Anyway, well, we're here to look at Western comics. So let's do that. And other comics. Lots of comics. For those of you that are new viewers to the Groucho Orloff Inspirational Network, here on this channel is dedicated to the things that your mothers threw away. Comic books, bubblegum cards, movie posters, records, anything that might have shocked parents and teachers, caused them to clutch their pearls and throw them away, saying this is inappropriate. All the childhood memories, the kids' culture of the 40s, 50s, 60s, that's what we're kind of into here on this channel. And sometimes we state, and because we're into old culture, we're kind of opposite of Marxists that want to get rid of the past. We embrace the past. So we're rather conservative here. So yes, we support Donald Trump here. It's shocking, isn't it? People on Rumble probably won't mind that. Okay. I fed the dog breakfast. I'll feed the dog again. Every show, when I start the show, almost every show, I've had to feed the dog. She demands food right as I'm beginning the show. It never happened to Johnny Carson, ladies and gentlemen. His dog never showed up on the stage and demanded food in the middle of the Tonight Show. I never remember that happening. But that's all right, because Drusilla the dog needs to eat. I saw on Sesame Street once, they sang a song, Everybody Eats, and they explained that everyone has to eat, people and animals and fish. Something's weird about episode 4 of this. It seems to run longer than 2 hours. And I don't know how that's possible. Anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, let's get Drew the dog fed. My wife is having her hair dyed at the beauty parlor, and okay, let's set you down here. All right, this is filet mignon flavor with bacon and potato, just like the wolves eat in the wild. So this will bring the wild animal out in Drew. So I gave her some kibble, and now I give her this on top. Okay. Why is my finger suddenly bleeding? Maybe there was some broken glass in that blanket I was just handling, man. Well, I guess that's some railroad history. I don't know what something like that's worth. Not that I'm wanting to sell it. Maybe you know something about old time railroad blankets. So let me know in the comments down below. Okay. So how are you guys doing on this wonderful Monday morning? I'm not working today, so I might do a live stream later on. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. This show could end at any time when I get a call from my wife that she's done at the beauty parlor. I'm recording this with a telephone. I'll see a message at the top, come pick me up, and then I'll go get her. I guess I could bring you along when I go get her, but I don't know. Is that good content? You know, is that fun for you, the viewer, the cherished viewer? Let's see what we got here, man. Oh, it's a copy of Green Lantern. Are my hands fully dry? Well, my hands dry. Let's look at something that's not quite as valuable. A catalog for best products. I think I showed you this the other night, didn't I? I think I did. In that 6-hour live stream that probably no one has seen the whole thing. If you go to about somewhere right between the fifth and about 5 hours and something minutes into it, maybe you'll there's 3 people on the stream, and then my friend Kevin drops out, his phone craps out, or loses the signal, and then it cuts to me, and I'm just asleep for like 10 seconds, and I wake up, and yeah, you get to see me fall asleep on that broadcast, the one from Saturday night. Well, what could you get at Best Products? I remember the Best Products at the Forum 303 Mall, the mall that I loved as a child. Look, you can get G.I. Joe walkie-talkies. Those are important. That's what Joe Biden's military uses now. Now they've given everything to the Ukraine. They use Joe Biden G.I. Joe walkie-talkies from what is this? 1984, 1985. So what cherished toys would be in here? 84, 85 would be about a year after Return of the Jedi. So there's going to be some Star Wars toys, I'm thinking. Boy, there was a lot of horrible toys in the 80s, weren't there? Oh, okay. This is stuff that some of you might look at. This He-Man spread, Masters of the Universe. I was never, I was already in college in the mid '80s, so I was not part of the He-Man generation. But I did see those action figures. I did appreciate the craftsmanship that went into the figures and the little castles and all the weapons. I could see that was a step up. At the time when that stuff came out, I thought, okay, so they're doing unauthorized Conan the Barbarian dolls and action figures. I mean, older people still call them dolls. All right, my hands are a little bit drier now. So Green Lantern, number 11. I think I showed this to Micah, Graphic Man, the other night, and it's a great issue, but I think it's neat that it has a letter from Joe Staton in it, who would later go on to create E-Man for Charlton Comics, and Joe Staton would later draw Green Lantern for DC. But here he is as probably a college student writing into Green Lantern number 11. Joe Staton. There's some interviews on YouTube with Joe Staton I need to watch. I just noticed they existed. Learn to play guitar the Chet Akins way. Yeah, it's great. Always loved Green Lantern. The Green Lantern concept. Let's see if you could probably freeze. Do I have the light on? Yeah. If I read this whole letter on the last episode, so you can tune that in at the beginning. But anyway, there's the letter from Joe Staton, who lived at 469. Hold on. 469 Innis Street in Milan, Tennessee. The classic Golden Age Green Lantern was more based on, you know, the Arabian Nights kind of magic lantern kind of thing, but the Silver Age Green Lantern was more of a science fiction concept, and it was really heavily based on the Lensman stories by E.E. Doc Smith. You know, as far as the intergalactic policemen, they were called. Instead of being called Green Lanterns, they were called the Lensmen. Yeah. So anyway, is it a ripoff? No, it's very, you know, you can tell that that's where it came from. Let's take a look at what else we can find. Okay. Metamorpho, the Element Man. Now, get rid of the tape. I was always pronouncing her name Ramona Fradone. I think it's actually Fraden. I hear people on YouTube pronouncing it that way, and then I saw someone introducing her at a convention as Fraden, and she said nothing. My tendency is to, you know, I just pronounce, when I see a name that I think might be a Spanish name, and I see the letter A, I assume it's pronounced like an ah. You know, what do I know? This is issue number 9. It's one I didn't have. And anyway, her artwork is very distinctive. She's one of the great female artists. She also was famous for Aquaman. I've seen interviews with her and one of my other favorite artists, Marie Severin, the sister of John Severin. Marie Severin loved to draw. She was having a blast, you know, her whole career. Ramona Fradone was saying, I kind of hated it. It's hard to draw. Well, she was talking about how it's hard to draw all the fish and the underwater scenes for Aquaman. She just kind of thought of that as a chore. But she said she really loved drawing Metamorpho. So she had fun with that. But her husband was also a cartoonist, but he was more of a cartoonist for those elite New York type magazines, you know, like what the heck, New Yorker kind of things, you know. So she'd go to these high society parties with her husband, and he, you know, the kind of cartoons he did were more acceptable to society, and she was doing comic books, and that was kind of more considered low class, I guess. Anyway, she's still around, and she still appears at conventions, and she's still a lovely person, and her artwork is just great. You know, she did stuff all through the 70s, maybe into the 80s. The thing about her style is just distinctively different, kind of like Dr. Pepper, ladies and gentlemen. It's like C.C. Beck drawing Captain Marvel, or Maurice Severin's art, or Will Eisner's art on the Spirit. It's realistic, but it's also cartoonish. I don't want total realism in comics. I watch a movie if I want total realism. I like it to be stylized, and I like the kind of the whimsical feel of the artist's style interpreting. It doesn't look like reality. Jack Kirby exists in a whole other universe than we live in, where people have square fingertips and no one questions it, and it's wonderful, and you just accept that reality and you go with it, and it's fun. But yeah, obviously, this doesn't look like people that you see at the mall. Well, it might look like some people I've seen at Walmart, but anyway, fun comic. Oh, look at this. This model kit, was in production for many years. Forgotten Prisoner, the Green Beret kit. You very rarely see that. This kit you never see. That's that one you see because it was still in production in the 70s when I was a kid, and then I think it's still in production today. I think someone's remaking it today. Okay, I'm gonna put the books that I've shown over here. So, yeah, okay, that one. So I can put it. The reason is I'll take them into the other room and start putting them in a. Okay, these are the books I'm showing you. Then they'll go into a box of books to read, and then they'll go into the actual boxes where they will reside with other issues of Metamorpho and Green Lantern. So I can, you know how that goes. Well, it's nice to be here on Rumble. In addition to just that is providing I can figure out how to upload a video on Rumble, and I'll play around with it and see how it works. Graphic Man's already been putting up his stuff on Rumble as well, and if something happens to one platform, then you'll be ready to go with the other. So this is this Aquaman. From a distance, it looks like some kid is with a marker is colored in the cube, but when you get closer, no, it's a wreath. So you were there for the Sea King's funeral. So Aquaman has died. Now, Marvel in the 60s kind of prided themselves that they were the hip new group, where the characters have hang-ups and they're all mixed up and they're depressed, and then they live real lives. They're not just all perfect. And DC was more, the old-fashioned. Marvel kind of was like Pepsi. Pepsi says you're the new Pepsi generation. You're the young hip people, and Coke, that's for your grandparents. Pepsi is the new thing. And Marvel was kind of marketing themselves. Hey, we're the cool ones, man. This is what the college kids are reading. You read this, and you're a 10-year-old. You are the coolest, hippest person in your 5th grade class. That's how Marvel marketed them. And then DC, by the late 60s, they said, okay, how are we gonna combat that? DC was still outselling Marvel. I mean, Marvel was a little bit of a BS alert. They were saying, yeah, we're selling better. No, they weren't outselling DC, but their sales were going up, and DC was noticing, and they had all these old-fashioned heroes that, and the college kids were like becoming anti-American because they had the draft for Vietnam, and the hippies were realizing a lot of stuff, a lot of problems. They started protesting, and so it's how are they going to read these heroes that are dressed in red, white, and blue, or Superman who's for truth, justice, and the American way? And the hippies were like real down on America at the time. So what DC started to do is just emasculate their heroes, and it seems like on every issue, every month there was a comic with one of their heroes dead. Where the Flash, especially, every issue he's either on a park bench, a bum, or he's dead, or he's a skeleton, or the Flash was dead on every cover, or something horrible was happening to him. He was melting, who knows, or turning into a giant fat man like me. The Flash got it bad. Superman got it bad. Um, but Aquaman is like seems like every issue his wife was dying or he was dying or somebody. It's just like, let's kill off all our heroes and all the covers. Maybe the hippies will like seeing the patriotic. I don't know what they were. It was just the younger people taking over at Marvel and DC in the late '60s, and they were kind of. This is the late '60s. You got a date stamp on here. Some people hate them. There's also a pin mark. That's the date stamp I like. Most people I know like date stamps. Some people I'm sure don't like them. The people that want to decorate their walls with comics might not like them. But to me, that's when the comic was put on the stand. See, it's September 8th, 1969. And let's see what. So more than likely, when I look inside the comic, this is going to be, I guess, like a November issue, because usually the comics were dated a couple of months later than when they actually went on the stands, which gave them more time on the newsstand. Yeah, November-December 1966 issue. So the November-December 1966 issue actually came out in September, early September. So, don't eat those, Drew. I don't want Drew chewing on bottle caps. I was having a birthday party Saturday, and and I thought, well, there's 3 beers in the refrigerator. I'll drink those 3 beers. They've been there for a lot. I think they were actually expired. But anyway, so there are people that want. I want to do this. I have an old-fashioned comic book spinner rack, and I've always thought, no, Drew. I've always thought it would be fun to fill out that spinner rack. Don't chew on that, Drew. To fill out the spinner rack with the comic books that would have been on sale on the day I was born, which, stop, Drew, was April 20th, 1965. And so I could buy a bunch of April 1965 comics, but that wouldn't represent my birth month, because when my the ones that are, so don't know, God. Okay, she's gonna start chewing on Golden Age comics. That is not good. I might need to walk Drew. I tried doing a live stream yesterday, and Drew started bugging me, so I tried to walk Drew, and it took like 10 minutes. So it was just a blank picture of a chair without me sitting there, and then I just ended the live stream. It's just like it went for a little bit, but I just deleted it because it was unwatchable. It's just this. Because I can't, when I'm doing a live stream, I can't walk the dog, but I can take you with me now that I'm recording on my phone. So I think that's what I'm going to do to get this dog to stop pestering me. Yes, Drew, I'll take you. So why always when I'm doing a show, for crying out loud, Drew? Okay, so April 1965, what I really need to do is go back 2 months. So March. So no, or wait, or it would be the other way around. My mind's not working because I didn't get any sleep. So April 65. Oh, okay. So I'd be looking for May, June. June of 1965 comics would have been on the rack on the day I was born. So I need to fill the rack with June 1965 comics. There's a cool filter on mycomicshop.com, Lone Star Comics. That's a great online seller. It used to be a brick and mortar store that was my local comic store when I lived in Texas. Anyway, you can filter out and just look at comics from a certain year only, or a certain month in a year, or certain manufacturers. And you can just pull up June 1965 comics, and I can fill up the rack with those. Come on, Drew, let's go this way. And so that might be something I do sometime. Who knows? I've been thinking about doing that for years. I've had the spinner rack since the 90s. I'll show it to you real quick because we're gonna go walk the dog. And do I have I think I have my coat downstairs. Like I said, it's kind of cold out there. All right. I'm going to try to do a live stream later today. See how that goes. All right. So I may be back soon. Okay, Drew the dog. Let's get our shoes on. Okay, Drew. I'm sorry. I've been feel like I'm being rude to her when I try to do the show. She wants attention, and all right. What the heck am I doing here? All right. Okay, where's the leash, Drew? Yes, the Tomb of Terror, ladies and gentlemen. This is the show that I've been making, that I've been marketing. So lots of fun stuff like this. All right, Drew. Oh, yes, there's the leash. Let's go. Drew, come here. All righty. Okay. It's just a little chilly now. It's not cold. Let's go this way. Come on. All right. Let's go this way. Come on, Drew. Come on, Drew. We'll be back to the comic book entertainment momentarily, ladies and gentlemen. In the meantime, just consider it up. You're out walking the dog with me. There used to be train tracks here. They're long gone. And that's the old train depot. It's now a museum, which has the history of the town inside and a lot of paintings from a local artist named Orr Fisher that about 100 years ago wanted to be a cartoonist in the newspaper and did a lot of comic strip samples and that are in that museum. And he had a style very much like Mutt and Jeff. But then he also did these wonderful paintings, some of which are very surreal, almost like pulp covers. And he painted up for the, when they were hiring all the artists, the WPA, they were putting all the artists to work that were out of work during the Depression. He painted this really cool mural in the local post office. And they've got all kinds of stuff in that museum. But they had a rummage sale Friday and Saturday where they were getting rid of stuff that they had duplicates of, or maybe it didn't quite, it wasn't quite about this town. It was just other historical stuff that people had donated, but it didn't really apply to this town in particular. They were selling this stuff off really cheaply, and old toys that were donated. And so I went in there and hung out for hours and listened to stories about the town and the history of the town, and that was a lot of fun. And I picked up some neat stuff that I showed you in the last few episodes, and there's stuff I haven't shown you yet because I've kind of forgotten all the stuff I got. Okay, Drew, I don't want you going into somebody's yard there. Let's stay in the little park here. I forgot to bring the scoop, so if she poops, I'm going to go back and get the scoop and come back and get it. I'm not going to be irresponsible. Just bringing the camera with me is kind of unusual. So, ooh, that's a cool piece of machinery. I don't remember that being there. See, that's the old water tower. And they put a little fake caboose thing there where you can come and barbecue and have a picnic. Okay, Drew is running. Drew is scared by these trucks. That's what's going on. I wonder why she... Drew, stay with me, man. She is terrified. It's like Scooby-Doo seeing a ghost. She doesn't like the sound of machinery. Okay. See this? It's just a little fake caboose about where the train. We'll see there where it would have been. Sit here. We have never done it. We should come bring some burgers over here. Eat some time. But this is the little train. They have a barbecue grill there. Come here, Drew. Drew, come here. Anyway, over on the other side. Drew, we're going to go on this side of the building. Come on. Come on, Drew. See, right about here is where the train tracks were. And the passengers, I think 2 trains came a day. Passengers would come out. Hey there. How you doing? Oh, do you? Who are you interviewing?
Kurt Galladay. He just retired after 48 years of Hy-Vee.
Oh, okay. And that's going to help you with the lecture you're going to give in June, huh? For your research on Hy-Vee?
No, that's for a paper article.
Oh, okay. Cool. So how do you do it? Do you record it or do you take notes?
I got an article coming out this week Try to combine history with the human element of the business.
Right. Yeah, well, that's cool. What exact day does the paper come out? Like Tuesday or Wednesday? Wednesday. Yeah, I've been picking it up every week and stacking them up. I want to have like a collection. I should have started buying it the week we got here because it's interesting. Especially if your column is not in every issue though, or is it in every one? Yeah, that's the main reason I'm buying it. Well, nice to talk to you. I'll be looking forward to that. Take care. That's the guy that runs the museum, and he's the main historian of the town, and he's about to interview a guy. He's writing a history of the local supermarket called Hy-Vee. So glad Drew wasn't taking a poop when he pulled up. It's just like, but Drew has not pooped. All right. Looks like Drew's wanting to head back in. Maybe she just wanted some exercise. We all need that, especially me. But now out in the sun, I don't have any. Oh, here comes the mailman. Okay. Hey, morning.
That's all for today.
All right.